was too long, and that Cipolla should have made the challenge a little sooner rather than later. So that was the debate that was going on between the Italian and the umpire.
Okay, Robbie, on a clay court, though, you're allowed to do that, right? You could get the guy to come down and look at the mark, so why not?
You're exactly right. And the rule with Hawkeye is that it's supposed to be exactly the same as clay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So it's an interesting point because, of course, the rule does state that it has to be played the same as it would be on a clay court, and you are allowed to hit your shot and then have a look at the mark and then get the umpire to come down and have a look at it. So I think the umpire's made a mistake there.
Of course, it's a tricky one, though, Jason. You know, what happens when a guy hits a really slow ball and it bounces, say, on the baseline, and then you hit the ball back? The umpire will argue, though, that you had plenty of time to challenge the ball. It was a slow shot, whereas, of course, the last shot was a half volley. So there's a bit of judgment's got to be used by the umpire in that respect.
Absolutely, but I mean, in hitting a half volley, it's very, very difficult for the player. On a clay court, you would hit it, wouldn't you, naturally? Then you would glance down and have a look at the mark. You wouldn't challenge immediately, would you?
They're spot on.
30-15.
Of course, Cipolla, playing on clay a lot throughout the course of his career, would know that. And I think that's why he was so convinced about his argument. But the umpire, Mohammed, excuse me, not Mohammed Al-Janati, Mohammed's up in the next match, Ahmed Abdel Azim, wasn't going to have any of it.
That's beautifully done. That's more reminiscent of what we saw as he built his very good serve advantage up.
Yeah, another really nice sneak, and that's the right time to do it. When you see your opponent can only hit a slice shot, it has to be defensive. It can only be a dink or a lob, and therefore the time's right to race into the net and take the ball as early as you possibly can. He's had a lot of success there, winning at 11 of 14 points so far. It's outstanding for someone who's been brought up on clay.
But he probably deserves a tie-break. He absolutely close out the set when he had the opportunity. When he deserved this situation, he's going to get it. He'll have a tie-break to decide this opening set.
Tsonga's challenging the call at the right.
We do have a challenge here. It's legitimate. It's been accepted by the umpire.
He's made a couple of errors so far, Tsonga. I think this one was miles out. I mean, it's so far out. I don't understand that at all.
Tsonga has 2 challenges remaining.
Did get the additional challenge, of course, starting the tie-break, but he agreed with you, Jason. He's rather tossed away. We saw that serve that was way out to the ad courts, and then again there. Just not even close. Quick mini break for Tsonga.
2-0, Tsonga.
Yeah, a couple of poor forehands that, and the serve too was one of Robbie Koenig's there, 145 kilometers an hour. I mean, you can roll that thing in faster.
Number 2. It's keeping count. Robbie has right of reply, though, here. Waiting for a special back from the man. Outside. Oh, that is quite special, too. Tsonga
And that
finds
was
his range.
That was a Robbie Koenig backhand.
3-0.
Oh, quick to cover up there, Jason. This was a good one. This was a good one. Got nice and low. Didn't get it 100% clean, though. So consider himself a little bit fortunate. But for me, this is a groundhog day again for Joe Wilfred. Pretty much exactly what we saw in the opening stanza yesterday in his match against the Tunisian.
As far as double faults are concerned, Guy, that's a positive one in my book, and I don't mind it at all. He was looking to serve and volley, he got a good hit on it, missed it just long. If you miss it long or wide, it's okay. It's when you fall in the net and you get a little tight, you don't really get the racket through the ball, that it's a really bad one.
First double that for the Frenchman. Still in charge of this tie-break. Only just there.
4-1.
Responds with a terrific delivery. Just 167 Ks that one, but it's unreturnable when you land them like that.
And I think that's why I was talking about it being a good double, because that allowed him on that next point still to keep a loose arm and put the racket head through the ball, albeit with a little bit of slice. Didn't get tight.
Tsonga.
So, Robbie, I just want to bring you in there, having seen Tsonga miss another backhand, because yesterday we were remarking about the fact that he hit with one hand some of the times, and on other occasions, as he did there, with the two hands. Which do you prefer and why?
Oh, I prefer the two-handed backhand because it just has a little more control, especially when you use the left hand, which is the top hand for him. Two hands always gives you a little bit more stability. But also there, Jason, right after he hit that last backhand, he kind of punched his back on the lower right side. And of course, it is pretty cool down here. So I'm just wondering if it's a little stiff or it's a little tight. He's not able to coil as well as he'd like to.
Yeah, and of course, when you chatted to him yesterday,
Considering the challenges for Jason,
Baseline, the ball was called
more than
out.
one. Tsonga going to the review. Sorry to cut you off. Big moment, this. He's just gone long again. You can understand more, though, why he challenged that time. That was a lot closer. It's a sort of ball he would look to go to the review for. They're back in this tie-break.
That's a lovely little volley, no question about that, and it's a very positive point for Tsonga to have played. And just come back to that point, when Robbie spoke to Tsonga after the match yesterday, he said, I didn't play a lot in the off-season, I had to relax. So therefore, that match yesterday, you know, long time on the court in tough conditions, he will certainly have woken up this morning stiff. There's no question about that. So he might just have a little niggle there. And of course, in the wind, you hit all sorts of strange shots, and it does take its toll on your body. I'll keep an eye on that. Especially when you've got a big frame like Tsonga to hulk around the course. It's not easy.
Big double there. Time doesn't permit to run through the injury catalogue with Tsonga. We're at the business end of this tiebreak. I wouldn't be finished in time, I think, if I started on that one, but I'm sure our viewers know about the problems he's had. Not so much recently. I mean, that was the thing. He managed to get a consistent run of tournaments and then was winning a lot of matches, if you think of last year. But he is, as you say, the way he's built, so muscular, he's liable to, you know, little aches and pains. Maybe he's picked one up there. again that you like so much Tsonga doing, Jason.
Yeah, he's very strong overhead. He's got one of the best smashes in the game. So I think the time was right to move forwards. It was a sensible approach shot. He hit it aggressively, but well inside the line, and he's going to make 99 out of 100 of those. And makes a good little adjustment here, because normally you'd want to reach up and hit that at its peak. But look, the arm's bent, just dipping viciously. So he made the adjustment just in the nick of time. It's a good shot.
Take the set point there, but he'll have a chance of his own now, Tsonga, to get this done. Cipolla continuing to play him tough, asking the question of Tsonga on his own serve.
You know, why do that? Just let the rally continue. Don't panic. Just because Cipolla had hit, you know, what, 8, 9, 10 shots in a row, it can't hurt you off the slice backhand. So just keep hitting your strength, your forehand, to your opponent's weakness, their backhand, and wait to see what they do. You're the one in the driving seat with set point. Why would you try and win the point from there, the baseline, with a very risky shot at the best of times, especially in breezy conditions? And we've talked about it before, Guy, and there was a shining example. Extremely poor shot selection on a huge point. And that's what costs him.
Wouldn't have been happy with that, would he? 2 set points have come and gone.
Left, first serve.
Oh, and he finds that one as well. He has got him. And now Cipolla threatens to turn this tiebreak around big time. He has a set point of his own.
Again, it's that forehand. Earlier in the match, he was able to whip one down the line. This time, varying it beautifully. Again, though, it's that subtle flick of the wrist. And look how well he was able to hit that ball, even though he was losing his balance there. That is terrific stuff from the Italian.
Tsonga's turn to step up and keep this tiebreak going.
If he wants to hit one shot under pressure, it's going to be the smash. He's so good. And of course, this time, because of the wind, he wasn't able to hit it as flatly as he would have wanted, so he couldn't generate a lot of pace. Just coming around the right-hand side of the ball to generate a little bit of slice. Again, caught it quite low.